everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Kiara Johnson Art. Thank you for coming back. I only have 46 subscribers, so many of you are new to this channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. We are starting off with some basic cleaning of our supplies. With traditional art, I tend to paint a lot during the summer and then I leave it. And so usually when I go back to those materials, I either dried up because I didn't twist the cap fully back on. So I do this to test the paint inside to see if it's, usable or if it's dried up. Like this one is completely done. It's done. I'm making a list of what I need to pick up next. But yeah, I'm just doing some winter cleaning. These small little acrylic tubes are the best when it comes to painting on a budget, especially for my college students or my high school students. You're just gonna want a simple, what is this, like a 40, I think it's the 48 set I got from Amazon or Michael's. Your local art store typically get the more pricier paints with oils, but in acrylics I usually just do the small tubes with Liquitex. Like, it's a great brand, so I don't break my bank for some paint. Hello. Okay, so I wasn't even planning on actually putting my face in this, but I think talking, it makes it easier for me to focus. I'm trying the story, right? With Sandra, and there's gonna be this kid named Paco. I want it to be something that I can board and it not needing like 1,000 panels. That would be great. For those of you who don't know what storyboarding is, it's essentially preliminary drawings that figure out the physical environment, sometimes layout, and how to stage your characters. I'm practicing those skills with this story idea. We are set in the 1980s. I moved a Jamaican family over to New York City. Think about like the drug epidemic, hard crime that was going on during those days. I introduced the idea of duppies, which comes from Jamaican folklore. It's essentially the same thing as American ghosts, but it's a bit more spiritual. And I'm having some difficulty in connecting a relationship between duppies and my main character Sandra and her grandparents. At first I had her grandparents be her guardian angels, but because she is so afraid of duppies, she thinks that her grandparents are essentially evil. In truth, it'll be her grandparents that are trying to protect Sandra from all of the terrible things that are happening around her. In the next clip, I'm going to be discussing whether I should make the grandparents actually alive and not dead. They can only be duppies or guardian angels if they are dead. If I do keep the grandparents alive, it essentially changes the entire story. So I have to keep that in mind as well. The audience must know that her grandparents are duppies. But then I was just thinking about making the grandparents alive. So then it is just her against the outside world, because at first it was the same thing, but her grandparents were protecting her. Now it is her, Sandra the character, against like the duppies that have kind of possessed these innocent people. If that confused you at all, it's okay. I have so much work to do when it comes to the story. Essentially, I made the duppies become a force that possesses people around the city. I made the grandparents alive, so they have no part in the conversation at all. And then I made Sandra into this girl boss at 8 years old, and she's like the Supergirl going around and dispelling the evil. It turned into a story that I did not want to tell in the first place. Maybe sometime down the road I'll want to tell a Supergirl story. Like, I grew up on that stuff, like Wings Club, Sailor Moon, Witch, like you name it, I've seen it. Eventually in the future, you guys, you will see an upload and it's going to be an animatic about this story, and it's going to evolve into something that actually makes sense. Sometimes boarding it out, it makes it a bit easier to figure out what the heck is happening. Thank you for listening to me ramble on. Please enjoy the rest of the video. All right, let's jump into this gouache painting. Yes, we are gouaching it up today, everyone. Me and gouache, we have this a love-hate relationship where sometimes we really bond and we create beautiful things, and other times we're not all that compatible, which of course is maybe not the supplies issue, but maybe my fault. Okay, so this is a painting of a mug, but for some reason, I could not get the form down. We were not working together. I really should have included the background more into the painting. It got to the point where I had to actually finish the painting off camera because there was too many distractions. I was focusing on filming it, but what I was filming wasn't looking good anyway. So then I was like, okay, so why am I even filming this? It got very discouraging very fast. I'm going to come back to gouache, and next time I'm going to do a better painting, because this was not it. This was literally probably one of the worst paintings of 2023. I say that because 2023 just started and we can only go up from here. Next time we will do better. We move. Honestly, I debated whether to put this gouache recording into this video because it's not showing you my best work, obviously. And even in the previous video where I was working on that watercolor painting, I also was not satisfied with how that came out. And so I don't want to make it a habit of me just putting out bad work. I'm trying to recover from just being scared of creating. And I talked about this a little bit in my previous video as well. The reason my painting came out this way is 100% because I set myself up for failure watching Lovely Complex, also trying to film this video. Needless to say, I'm excited to see what I'm going to create in the future. It's very hard for me to watch this video. I do think I'm being a bit dramatic here. It's not the worst painting. I know I could do a lot better. It's just the practice of completing work even though you know it's not all that good. Okay everyone, I wanted to show you how I prepped my wooden panels for acrylic paint. I love practicing and working on these things professionally as well. They are super easy to work with. They are beautifully cheap. I get all of them from Michael's. I get a variety of sizes for $1 to $2. It is not a big deal. I love it. And here are some previous paintings that I've done on these panels. They're all done in acrylic and they're just like super quick warm-ups that I do when I have the time. I usually start off with my Liquitex gesso. This is a transparent version. Super easy, not messy if you do it the right way. And then I go in with my sand sponge. I got this from Home Depot. And then the sponge, I got this from Michael's as well. You just go in with a few drops around the panel, nothing too crazy. I'm going to show you two versions. Here's the first version. You're going to spread the gesso neatly along the panel, trying to make the base as even as possible. I usually go in with the gesso first and then I sand texture off. I think you could also sand down the panel first and then go with the gesso. Here's my second version where I'm putting way too much gesso on there. It's a ridiculous amount and I had to actually share some gesso with the panel above. I'm going to repeat this process onto my other panels. I think this day I got around 6 to 7 panels from Michael's. You could see the texture here. Yeah, I'm not against it. I'm really not. And with these panels, you really can't get away from it. If you don't sand down the panels though, the bumps come through even more. This panel, it broke on me. I tried to make it work. But it wasn't working with me. But yeah, these are all in prep for a show that I'm doing quite soon actually. On the day that I'm doing these voiceovers, I'm actually going to be painting on these panels. So look forward to a video where I am painting on these prepped panels. Let me know if I inspired you in the comment section to paint on these panels. They are certainly something to try and experiment with. Overall, I want to thank you so much if you made it this far into the video. Thank you so much for watching this video and being here with me. I'm excited for new videos in the future, and I will see you guys in the new one. Goodbye!